Let's move on to the next question. Alright, so question number 6. Okay. Alright, so the question is asking the inverse of the matrix. So we have an image. Just give me a second over here. Alright. So the image is as follows. So this is the question that we're asked. The inverse of the matrix as follows, where b is greater than 0 is one of these answers. So here the inverse of the matrix 1 0 0 0 1 0 b 0 1, where b is greater than 0, and here we're asked for, we're given 5 options. So let me put this back here. So A is the inverse of this matrix this, or this, and we're given that b is greater than 0, or is it none of these questions? So we got to figure out what is the inverse of this matrix. So let's look at what the junior tutor proposed. So use the property of the identity matrix and its inverse. The inverse of an identity matrix is an identity matrix. Also, the inverse of B is the inverse of B due to the matrix being triangular. So A is the correct answer. So let's go through how we think about doing this. So one thing to note when you're looking at this question is the following. So some matrix A times the inverse of that matrix will give us the identity matrix. And what the identity matrix is essentially, let's say if we're working with a 3x3 matrices, we would say 1 1 1. This would be the identity matrix. So looking at this question, we have, so we're trying to see what is the inverse of this. So essentially we're trying to find what is a to the negative 1. So the inverse of this. So if we were to write this out here, 1 0, we know this is equal to a. 1 0 0 0 1 0 b 0 1. And then we'd have a inverse equal to in, which is just this. So when we're looking at the options, we can kind of just go through each option one by one and see which one works, and that ends up giving us this matrix. So let's plug in the following. So here we have, if we plugged in this one, let's say 1 0 0 0 1 0 b inverse 0 1, and then we want to solve what we'd end up over here. So to find the first component, we'll always do the row, so the row times the column, and so on for each component. So we say row 1 times 1 is just 1, plus 0 times 0 is just 0, plus b times 0, which is just 0. So we'd have just 1. So it would be 1 times 1 plus 0 times 0 plus b times 0. And we know the first term is just 1. So we write 1. And we do the same thing for the rest. So let's say 0 1 0 and 1 0 0. So 0 times 1 is just 0. So let's say 0 times 1 and then plus 1 times 0 plus 0 times 0. So here we have 1 times 0 and then 0 times 0. So this just equals 0. So you do the same process for the rest as well. So we do the following. I'm not going to write out each one, but I'll say them as I'm going. So we'll say 0 times 1 is 0 plus 0 times 0 plus 1 times 0. So this bottom term is also 0. And then we go to this term over here, which is this row times this column. So 1 times 0 is 0, 0 times 1 is 0, b times 0 is 0. So we know this is 0. And the next term, we'd use this row times this column, and we can see that it's 1. And then the following will be this row times this column, and we can see that it's 0. And then the last column is really what we care about. So here we have row 1, 1 times b. So here we have b to the minus 1. So I'd say b to the minus 1. 1 times plus 0 times 0 plus b times 1. You can see right here that this doesn't give us 0. Well, we're trying to say that this should be equal to 0 in order for us to get the identity matrix. So we can see that this cancels out to equal. This just equals so b to the negative 1, and then this cancels out, and we're left with b to the negative 1 plus b. And we can see that this should really be negative b for it to cancel out and become 0. And here we have this option over here, which has negative b, and the rest of the options don't have negative b. So if this was negative b, then we would end up with 0. And you would have satisfied the identity matrix, and you'd have 0, 0, 1. So here, this is the term that we're really looking at. In this situation, it would not be satisfied because it would be the negative 1 plus b. But if it was negative b, so I'll erase that here. Then we'd have negative b over here plus b would give us 0, and we get this term over here. And that would be our matrix, the inverse of that matrix. So this would be the answer, and in this situation, the answer is D. So looking back at the solution here, so here they selected the incorrect answer. So incorrect answer, solution is incomplete, correct answer is D. And mark this as incorrect.